Lesson 2.1, Properties and Operations. Let's begin by discussing a few properties that apply to addition and multiplication. The reason they apply to addition and multiplication is because addition and multiplication are unique, and the order that you add or multiply doesn't really matter. Watch this. 4 plus 3 plus 5 is the same thing as 3 plus 5 plus 4. Same thing as 5 plus 3 plus 4. The order doesn't matter. You always end up with 12. Just like 2 times 3 times 4 is the same thing as 3 times 4 times 2 is the same thing as 4 times 2 times 3. You end up with a 24. The first property we're going to discuss is called the commutative property. Now, the word commute just means to move around. So remember, the commutative property describes how the numbers can move. 2 plus 3 is the same thing as 3 plus 2. And 5 times 2 is the same thing as 2 times 5. Algebraically, A plus B, same thing as B times A. A times B is the same thing as B times A. Okay, let's go to the bottom where we talk about the associative property. The word associate means to group together. So the associative property describes how the numbers are grouped. So it doesn't matter if we do 2 plus 3 first and then add the 4, or do 3 plus 4 first and then add the 2. Just like it doesn't matter if we multiply 3 and 2 and then multiply by 5, or if we multiply 2 and 5 and then multiply by 3. Doesn't matter how the numbers are grouped, you end up with the same thing. Okay, let's go to the back and try this. On the back, let's say you buy a cell phone, a protective cover, and a car charger. The cost of the items respectively, that means in order. So the phone's $128, the cover's $17, and the charger's $22. We want to know how much we paid. We're going to use the above properties to add mentally. Now watch this. 128 plus 17 plus 22. We already discussed the fact that it doesn't matter what order I add those in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the numbers around so that I can do this in my head very easily. 22 and 128. Now I notice that 2 plus 8 is going to give me a number that ends in a 0. 128 plus 22 will give me 150. It was real easy to do that in my head because I knew 2 and 8 would give me a 0, and I just had to add the 2 and the 2 and get the 1 from this 8 plus 2, which was 10. Let's add the 17 and get $167. Okay, now let's evaluate these guys down here when our numbers are x is 4 and y is 7. Okay, 2 times x times y. So 2 times x, but remember x is 4 times y, which is 7. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 7, 56. Let's try the next one. 4 plus x plus 6. So 4 plus x, which is 4, plus 6. Now watch what I'm going to do here. In my mind, I'm trying to figure out the easiest way to add these. So I'm going to go 4 plus 6 first. Get 10, and then add the 4. 14. My next one, 8y plus x. 8 times y, which is 7, plus 4. 8 times 7 is 56, plus 4 is 60. Finally, we have 3 plus x times y. X is 4, y is 7. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 plus 3 is 31. Remember, you still have to observe order of operations whenever you're using the commutative or associative property, but they can help make things a little easier, as we will see down here. Let's simplify these expressions down at the bottom of the page. We have 5 plus 3z. Now, what do we see that can go together here? Well, the 5 and the 3 are both numbers. That means we're allowed to add them. So 8, and then the z we haven't done anything with yet. Now notice in number 2 we have 7k's and we have 4k's, and we like to add these k's together. Well, 7 plus 4 is 11, and that means we have now 11k's. Let's try number 3. Notice we have 14 p's, 3 r's, and then 6 more p's. What I'm going to do is take the 14 p's and the 6 p's and put them together with each other. 14p plus 6p is 20p plus the 3r that I haven't used. Now don't try to make this be 23pr. You're not allowed to do that. P's and r's are different and they don't go together. For that reason, number 4, we can't do anything with it because these are v's, these are n's, they're different. We can't add them together. Our next problem is number 5. We have 6 times 4t plus 3v. The only thing we're allowed to do here is multiply the 6 and the 4 together. So we end up with 24t plus 3v. We have t's and we have v's. They don't go together, so we can't go any farther than that. In our next one, we have 17r minus 12r plus 5s. 12r minus, 17r minus 12r. That leaves me with 5r. I can put them together because they're the same, plus 5s. R's and s's don't go together. It doesn't even matter that we have the same number in front of them. R's and s's aren't the same. The next one we will do is t plus v plus y times y. Well, the only thing I can do here is multiply the y times the y. Y times y is y squared. Here's where the associative property, or the commutative property, I should say, really helps us out. Notice here I have k plus 12 minus 2k. I'm allowed to take this 2k and put it together with this k before even worrying about this 12. So what I should do is rearrange my expression like this. K minus 2k, well this is 1k minus 2k, so 1 minus 2 is negative 1k plus 12. That's all for lesson 2.1. If there was anything that was confusing or that you didn't understand, make sure you go back and re-watch that particular section.